Amy, I have to ask. It's something I'm sure you've been asked many times before. Obviously, skeleton, bobsleigh, being an Olympic champion, unreal. Where did that journey start, though? How does somebody get into skeleton bobsleigh? Because it's not something that I guess you cross in many different walks of life. Your regular sports in the UK, as you're very well aware, I'm sure. Even the schools that you've gone and do talks at, and the workplaces you've gone and spoken at, most of the people are talking about your footballs, your crickets, your rugbies, and not so much skeleton bobsleigh. So how did that journey start for you?
For me, I was living in the right place, right time, and just got a bit nosy with some athletes.
Nice.
That's the real story. My background was athletics. I did athletics from about the age of 13, twice a week, three times a week, four times a week, and loved racing. But I also knew I wasn't quite good enough. I had a lot of like shin splints, compartment syndrome. So I wanted to do 400 meters and I just couldn't do that longer distance stuff. So I kind of was already looking around, okay, can I transition into another sport? At the University of Bath, and Bath is home for me, they had built this special start track, push track for bobsleigh and skeleton for the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics to train. So 2002. Um, and yeah, I just got chatted to some people in the gym one day who were bobsleigh skeleton athletes. They were about to go and do a training session. I asked, could I go along and watch? I ended up doing some pushes,
Wow.
and then I ended up going out and doing the World Push Championships in Holland, in Groningen. So this was the summer of 2002. So I asked, could I enter? I was quick in Bath, and could I enter as a guest in the guest category? And I ended up coming second overall.
Wow.
And so the performance director at the time, who had just come on into the sport of skeleton to create almost a performance pathway and a program, there was five or six of us who went and joined a military ice camp in Lillehammer in Norway in October of 2002. So I paid my way. I changed university courses and degree choices to stay at Bath to get my student loan. The student loan then paid for those first 2 weeks on ice. So I kind of was almost gambling already on a sport that I had never done, but I
Yeah.
knew I was fast at the start. And I just made that gamble on myself of, okay, let's put this
Wow.
student loan money of £2,000 or whatever it was back then to try on this military ice camp to have a go. And then I came back from that thinking, yeah, I could be good at this sport. There's After every 4 years of an Olympic cycle, there's always athletes that retire and stop. So naturally, after the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics in February 2002, naturally some athletes stopped. And there was a bit more of like this empty gap and hole for new, fresh people to come in. So I then was of a development squad of people who got into the sport themselves for whatever reason. Now, if you want to have a go at the sport, and like your Matt Weston, our latest Olympic champion, and Lizzie Arnold, previous Olympic champions, they all got into it through talent ID schemes. So where they've gone around, or British Skeleton have talent ID'd, come along, let's test your 30-meter sprint time, your power, your explosive, your sprints, and then we will pick you and pay for you to go out on ice. And then, we will give you the best equipment, the best coaching, the best ice times. And if you do all of these things that we tell you to do, we will make you a champion pretty much. So, yeah, it's very different now, and the money involved to my generation of the old has-beens and how we got into the sport.